Well, welcome back to our channel and a new video. It's been over 2 years. This little video is going to be a recap of where we were a couple of years ago, what's happened in the meantime. For those of you new to the channel, I'm sure it's going to be a bit of an insight into our lives, mainly Michelle. Michelle is behind the camera. My name's Matt, by the way. Also, for those that have followed Michelle on the Instagram over the years, you'll kind of know what's gone on and what it's been all about. But the channel all started 3 years ago when I actually quit my job, and the idea was I was quitting my job, spend more time with Michelle, the family, and we were going to go out travelling, visiting places, and we thought we'd take a camera along and document what we were doing. So we did start doing that, and then things change, life happens, and we had to put a bit of a stop to it, which we will come on to shortly. So like I said, thanks for tuning in. My name's Matt, behind the camera is Michelle. She will be talking to you very shortly. So what I'm going to be doing is, the recap's going to be in 3 parts. I'm going to do a little recap on me, because I'm boring and nobody's really interested in what's been going on in my life, although some people have asked questions, and I am going to now answer some of those questions that people have asked and sent in to Michelle on her Instagram. Then Michelle's going to give you a bit of a recap on what's gone on in her life, and like I say, if you follow on Instagram, I'm sure you already know, but for those that are new here, it will give you an insight into how the channel's come about and where it's going to be going moving forward. And then we're going to give you a little update into a trip that we've just done. So if you stick around to the end, there will be a little sneak peek of what we've been up to. And then starting next week will be a series, only a short series, but a series of where we've been and what we've been up to. So let me get back to me. Like I say, 3 years ago I quit my job. I wanted to cut back and spend more time with the family, so I was doing 6 days a week, driving all over the country. It was it was quite stressful. Good job, but stressful. It was time to have a break, so I quit my job and went part-time. Now, questions we've never answered before, but I will answer these now. A lot of people wanted to know where I worked to start with. Where did I quit? So I was in the motor trade. I used to work for Ford Motor Company, on the retail side, on their commercial vehicles, their vans. Great job. I worked in the motor trade ever since leaving school. I worked for Ford for the majority of that time, and it just got to the point where it was time for a change. So I went into work, handed my notice in, worked my notice, although they offered me, which was very good of them, they offered me as much notice period as I wanted. I don't think they wanted me to leave at the time. Was quite keen to keep hold of me, but the situation was I wanted to spend more time out and about with Michelle, which is what the channel used to be called, by the way. We'll get back to that a bit later on. So yeah, I left Ford, all in good terms. We still talked to a lot of the people there and the managers, so there was no issues. I wasn't leaving on bad terms. It was all good. And then I went and got a job, and this is another thing that people asked about and we never spoke about. I went and worked for Asda. So I was online looking one day, and I thought, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to do something part-time for about 6 months while I figure out what I'm doing. And I applied for this job as a driver for Asda. So I did home shopping. So I drove for Asda. Like I say, I intend to do it for about 6 months, which turned into 2 years. Now, I didn't stay as a home shopping driver. They actually promoted me, and I ended up into in the transport side and into the home shopping management side of things. So yeah, the 6 months turned into 2 years. And then last year I left Asda. Again, wasn't looking for the job, but I left Asda and went to work for a camper van manufacturer. So this company that I work for now, I'm not going to go into great details. I still work for them, and they may not appreciate me splattering the name all over and things like that. So yeah, I went to work for a camper van manufacturer who I worked with before, and I knew through my Ford connections, because I used to supply him vans to convert into camper vans, and I've been there for just over a year now. Very happy, still there, and intend to continue being there. So that's me, that's my update, and that's what I've been doing. I've answered a couple of questions that people have asked. Like I say, most people are not interested in me anyway. They've always wanted to know what's going on with Michelle and how she's getting on. So that's my little update out of the way. Michelle's next.
So I'm Michelle, and I just wanted to give you a little update on what's been going on my part over the last kind of 12 to 18 months really. If you've come across from Instagram, you will already know what's been going on, but if you haven't, this update's for you really. So back in September of 2023, I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer, and it all happened very, very quickly. You know, from the minute I found the lump to the minute that I was diagnosed, it happened within a couple of weeks. And I began to have some chemotherapy, and I had 10 weeks of solid chemotherapy, and then I actually had surgery on the 27th of December 23, and then obviously into the new year we kind of went back into chemotherapy. We had radiotherapy and then more chemotherapy as well. So it was a long drawn out process, but obviously it was needed, and it really took a toll on me. Like, I stayed positive the whole way through it all, and then I think once all the treatment had finished, you know, it just kind of hit me. But I am on medication for the next 7 or 8 years. Obviously I'll have like yearly mammograms and things like that, and checkups and one thing and another. But honestly, the whole process, although, you know, it's not something that anybody wants to go through, I don't know how I can explain it, but I had a really, really good kind of intervention with everybody. You know, they were all on board with everything. They all kind of encouraged me and one thing and another. But yeah, it was, I mean, the chemotherapy team that we had were absolutely brilliant, and I actually said to them at the end of all my treatment, like, I feel like they've become like really good friends, and I think that's what happens when you do spend a long period of time with people. They do kind of become friends to you, and not just nurses or doctors or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of a brief recap of obviously what I've been going through. I am technically cancer free, which is brilliant, but like I say, I will be having regular checkups and things like that. But yeah, that's kind of my little update, and yeah, we'll let you know what else that we've been up to.
Right, so back to the channel. So here we are in Hornsey. This is where our last video was filmed. So 2 and a bit years ago was the last video we did, and it was here in Hornsey. So we've come back for the day, have a little potter around, fish and chips as you do when you're at the seaside. So I just wanted to give you an idea of where we're heading with the channel and what the idea behind this whole situation was. So originally, going back before the videos that are actually on the YouTube at the moment, we actually did have a channel name of Step Into the Magic, and the idea was we was going to do a Disney trip and do some Disney vlogs. Now that never happened for various reasons, so when we did start vlogging just after the great unpleasantness, you know, the year-long flu that everybody had, we actually started filming in, where did we go? Warner Brothers Studios, yeah. And we did Thirsk and a few other places. So yeah, the idea was getting out and about, visiting places, so we named it Out and About with Matt and Michelle. As you can notice, the channel's changed names again. It now says Magic and More. So that's because we want to spend more time going to Florida. So we've got two happy places. One is here on the east coast of Yorkshire, and the other place is Florida. So there is a sneak peek coming up. So if you want to hang around, there is a sneak peek coming up of what we got up to. So we did do a mini series over in Florida. I think there's going to be about 5 videos. I've not finished editing it yet, but I think there's going to be about 5 videos. So please do stick around and watch them. The first one will be next week, which was Travel Day. So if you're interested in that sort of content, please stick around. Give us a thumbs up and hit a reminder. Please consider subscribing as well, because hopefully there is going to be more to come. We have got another little trip booked. Have we already announced that on the other videos or not?
I can't remember.
Oh, so I think we'll leave that for now. So we have got another trip coming up, and that will be announced at the end of the Florida series. But for now, this is us. Thanks for watching, and here's the intro, or a long intro, to what we got up to. Cheers.
Take me home.